It is therefore ordered that you shall be put to death by electrocution. God have mercy upon you.
Can I please have a mom before I go? Please, let me just love my mom. I love you. I love you. I love you. Can I please have a mom before I go?
This is 19-year-old Krista Pike, seen here in a Tennessee court. Pike is facing charges for murder. Pike's madness started in January 1995 when she lured 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer out of her dormitory and into the woods. Pike was jealous of Slemmer and erroneously thought that she wanted to steal her boyfriend. For this, Pike corroborated with her boyfriend, 17-year-old Tatterall Shipp, and her friend, 18-year-old Shadola Peterson. Together, she and her boyfriend assaulted and tortured Slemmer, while Peterson acted as a lookout. Not satisfied with the assault, Pike took an asphalt and hit Slemmer until she stopped breathing.
An autopsy confirmed she was slashed repeatedly with a meat cleaver and some other small cutting device, perhaps a razor blade or box opener. Authorities say she was then beaten over the head with a large chunk of asphalt from this pile.
She and her boyfriend then took turns carving a pentagram across her chest.
He had a massive circle with a star, upside down star, called pentagram. If you don't know what pentagram is, the upside down star in a circle, and it represents the goat head. Let's say.
There was a danger. It's got one change. We did it. Why? I'll tell you what it was.
She then took a piece of her skull as a trophy.
She had a piece of the skull wrapped up in a napkin in her coat pocket. That's a trophy. It showed that that piece she had fit exactly as a piece of puzzle in the skull.
The group then went back to their dormitory, but the next day, her body was found and police swarmed the area. Following investigations, the teenagers were arrested. With everyone panicking about the murder and the pentagram on Slemmer, the police had to address the media.
It did not involve a university student. It did not occur on the bike trail. It was not a random or a stranger-to-stranger incident. The motive of the crime appears to be love triangle. It appears that both of the females involved had been involved with a 17-year-old male.
But it wasn't a love triangle. Slemmer was not interested in Pike's boyfriend. According to reports, Pike was just jealous. She readily admitted to luring Slemmer out to deal with her.
I wanted to get her off campus, and I had every intention of fighting her.
She revealed more grisly details of the crime.
You know, it's harder to hurt somebody when they're talking to you and you have to see another person. Right. And I sort of shut up and hit her and she was still breathing. I said, Colleen, do you know who's doing this to you? And she was just going, just talking like that, but I don't know what to say.
During her trial, the defense pointed out that she had a rough and abusive childhood, and that must have influenced her actions. But Pike herself noted that she knew what she was doing.
I knew exactly what I was doing. Everything that I did that night, I knew what I was doing. And I think I was taking things out on her that had happened to me years ago.
In the end, Pike was found guilty on all counts and handed the death penalty.
It is therefore ordered that you shall be put to death by electrocution. You know that you tried by law. That you shall be transferred to custody for warden at the Tennessee Prison Facility. And further, on the 12th day of January 1997, your body shall be subjected to shock by sufficient current of electricity. God have mercy upon you.
She couldn't stop her tears after she left the court.
Can I please have a mom?
Please Pike to the doctor. Please hold it.
Pike's boyfriend, the man she supposedly went through all this for, was sentenced to a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Peterson was handed a 6-year probation. Pike is still on death row.
Krista Pike has tried on 3 separate occasions on both state and federal levels to get off of death row, but they've all failed. That's not stopping her and her legal team from giving it another try. Colleen's family says more than 25 years later, they're still looking for closure.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, another convict surpasses Krista Pike's wild behavior. Enter 23-year-old Pedro Espinoza, who's in a California court on murder charges.
He needs the biggest punishment they can get is the death penalty, and from that day on, he can rot in hell. Thank you.
In March 2008, 17-year-old Jamil Shaw was fatally shot by Pedro Espinoza, a member of the 18th Street gang.
When we go kill you, we're gonna send a couple of guys down there, really make a mess of you. The execution style's a really beautiful way to do it, because that stands out a message.
The shooting occurred after Espinoza saw Shaw walking home carrying a red bag and mistakenly assumed he was a rival gang member. To make matters worse, Espinoza was only just released from prison. In an emotional interview, Shaw's father recounted the tragic events that led to his son's death.
He was on the phone talking to his girlfriend as he was walking down the street, and she heard the guy walk up to him and they asked him, what set you from, or like, what gang you from? He didn't answer, and they shot him. He's not a gangbanger. He doesn't gangbang, he doesn't do none of that.
Espinoza was subsequently arrested. In court, his cousin Javier testified about his activities.
When you talked to the police, did you tell them the fact that Pedro talked to you that night, March 2nd, about a football player that was killed? This shown on the news. In fact, did you tell the detectives that Pedro told you that night that he did?
I did say that, sir, but I did it for a reason.
But you did say that?
I did say that, but not literally because of the views and I said it because they were trying to be, talking about it. That I killed the person, that I was involved with him, and that I was going to face 20 plus months in bed, so state penitentiary.
Who told you that?
They take it for real.
Did you actually say to the detective that he told me he did it? I saw it on TV. Did you make that statement?
I did see it on TV way before it actually started. I heard about it even before before the police even came to my house. So I already knew what had happened to that student.
The prosecution asked pointed questions about his previous statement to the police.
Didn't you tell the police that Pedro told you, I killed the Twinkie that night when you were watching it on the news?
I did tell the police, but I never told them I seen it on TV. That was all a lie. That was just what I made up.
Did you say during that same interview that he did it with a gun?
That was the same thing as
Did you say specifically, he just told me he killed him? Did you say that?
I did say that.
After weeks of debates, Espinoza was found guilty. Before sentencing, Shaw's uncle and nephew spoke to him.
The days when I was growing up, it was basically you use your fists. You don't just go and keep somebody cold blood. It's the coward's way out.
Shaw's parents also took the stand. The mother, a U.S. Army sergeant, made it clear that she couldn't forgive Espinoza's actions.
I find myself, I'm not that strong of a Christian because I can't turn around and say, I forgive you for killing my son.
You should thank God. If you have your family intact and your kids and you're loving them and you're doing things, thank God for that. Because there's people like that don't give a damn.
Espinoza was promptly handed a death sentence.
It is the judgment and sentence of this court that for the crime of murder in the first degree, committed under the special circumstance that the defendant intentionally killed by Jamil Shaw II, the defendant, Pedro Espinoza, shall be put to death within the walls of the California State Prison at San Quentin in the manner prescribed by law upon a date to be fixed by this court in a warrant of execution, at which time and place you shall then put to death Pedro Espinosa in the manner prescribed by law.
The gang member is still awaiting his execution. However shocking Pedro Espinosa's actions were, it doesn't compare to the actions of 29-year-old Marlon Joseph, who is facing charges for double murders in Florida.
Son, I love you. You know I love you, but can you please just turn yourself in? You have to do this.
In December 2017, Kalada Crowell and her 11-year-old daughter, Kyra Inglet, were fatally shot by Marlon Joseph after tensions had risen between Kyra and Joseph's daughter. It all began with a text message. On the day of the murders, Joseph's daughter informed him about an incident with Kyra. When Joseph arrived, a heated argument broke out between him and Kyra's mother, and he shot her. 11-year-old Kyra tried to escape, but Joseph chased her down and shot her multiple times. He went into hiding for days before finally being apprehended.
Police find Joseph, apprehend him, and take him into custody.
During sentencing, the judge spoke about the sheer terror 11-year-old Kyra must have felt. She had witnessed her mother being shot and knew the killer was coming after her next. Joseph was sentenced to death following the jury's recommendation.
Marlon Maurice Joseph, you have not only forfeited your right to live among us, but under the laws of the state of Florida, you have forfeited your right to live at all.
Accordingly, it is hereby ordered and adjudged as to count one for the first-degree murder of Kalada Crowell, Marlon Maurice Joseph shall be delivered into the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections at the Florida State Prison. You shall be confined there until a date certain selected by the governor of the state of Florida, and on that date you shall be executed in a method provided by Florida law.
Marlon Maurice Joseph, may God have mercy on your soul. This court is now in recess.
Joseph showed no signs of remorse for what he had done, and now waits on death row for his execution. But Marlon Joseph isn't alone in his crazy actions. However, it's nothing compared to the explosive actions of 18-year-old Michael Bargo, who's facing murder charges in Florida.
15-year-old is beaten, then shot to death, his body burned to get rid of any evidence.
In 2011, Bargo and 4 of his friends lured 15-year-old Seth Jackson to a house in Summerfield. The group assaulted and battered Jackson. When he tried to escape, they dragged him back and continued their assault.
A 15-year-old child knew he was being dragged back into a house and was going to die.
Eventually, Bargo shot him multiple times at point-blank range.
Said he hit him over the back of the head with a 2x4, and then they lifted him up, put him in a recliner, and then started basically talking trash to him. And then he said when he was tired of it, he pulled out a gun and just shot him 3 times.
The group then burned the body and disposed of the bones in a water-filled quarry.
Bargo and 4 others beat and shot Jackson to death 8 years ago. The group put his body and disposed of it in paint buckets, which were dumped into a water-filled quarry.
In court, Bargo denies any involvement despite multiple testimonies labeling him as the mastermind behind the murder.
You really hurt your knee chasing Seth when he escaped out of the house, didn't you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, were you the one on the porch yelling, "Get him," then?
There when that happened.
So at some point on this walk, you told him, "Hey, I'm not helping you do this anymore. My knee hurts, I'm gonna stop," right?
No.
You just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
That you stopped, you called the police, you didn't assist them? You didn't do any of those things?
No.
You helped them?
I carried a cinder block to the fence. They climbed over with it.
Because you told them to. You testified on direct, you told them to throw the buckets over the cliff, down the rock wall.
They're gonna do it, that'd be the way to do it.
So you were helping them out. You were taking Kyle's advice if you were gonna be with him. Then after you dispose of Seth's body, after it's dumped in the quarry, you go to Publix, get some beer, and you start drinking.
Yeah, pretty stressful.
All right, Kristen, you go to her house before you go to Star. You'd say you told her somebody got shot with a gun.
Somebody got shot with my gun.
With my gun, okay. And your girlfriend of 1.5 years, Kristen, misunderstood you and thought you said, "I shot a kid."
Somebody got shot with my gun.
Right. But that's not what she says.
I never told her I shot somebody.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. She misunderstood what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Your girlfriend of 1.5 years mistook that.
The prosecution brought Bargo's friends to testify to his involvement in the crime.
Himself shot him
in the yard.
In the yard multiple times. He had drug him back in the house, placed him in the bathtub, and had beaten him some more. And
and shot him twice in the face. He said that they had placed it in a sleeping bag and built a fire. Can you call a moment, please?
The defense claimed that he was mentally sick during the crime.
He was not taking any medication for any of the mental illnesses that he had been diagnosed with.
Fortunately, their claim did not move the jury.
We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Michael Shane Bargo Jr., should be sentenced to death, yes.
In the end, he was handed the death penalty, and his group were all sentenced to life. But this wasn't the only time a teenager committed an atrocious crime. Take, for example, the case of Austin Myers, who was in an Ohio court for murder.
He just killed one of my old friends in front of me, and he had a gun in his pocket, and I didn't know what.
After he was trying to sell me out and make me look like I did everything, how would I know about the safe? How would I know about the money? Why would I put something in cold blood? And he told me about it.
In January 2014, Myers and his friend Timothy Mosley planned to rob the Back family. But when they saw that their friend Justin Back was around, they fatally stabbed him, with Mosley delivering the fatal injury.
Myers is one of two men who strangled and stabbed 18-year-old Justin Back last January.
The two friends had been planning the robbery for days, and had even bought a steel cable the previous day to eliminate anyone who would tamper with their plans.
We have the video recordings where he's going and purchasing a murder weapon. You'd be hard-pressed to find a case where there was more prior calculation than what you had in this particular case.
When their friends were interrogated, Myers denied everything and put the blame on Mosley, despite masterminding the whole plot.
Tell me what happened from Monday night on, what transpired that led up to this.
So we went back on Tuesday.
And what was your intent when you went back to the house?
Just the same thing as I said before.
You think you're going just to hang out? You didn't have any other intent of taking anything?
No, I didn't have any intent of taking anything.
Did you ever ask Tim why this suddenly happened?
I didn't want to try to talk about it because he just killed one of my old friends in front of me, and he had a gun in his pocket, and I didn't know what. Tim said it'd be a good idea if we made it look like a runaway or something. If we had ended up wrapping him up in a blanket, put him in the trunk after we put him behind the tree, with the blanket on. They shot him twice.
Mosley overheard his statements and got annoyed. He promptly told the detectives what they wanted to know and took a plea deal that involved testifying against Myers.
After he was trying to sell me out and make me look like I did everything, it's bullshit. How would I know about the safe? How would I know about the money? Why would I put something in cold blood? And he told me about it.
What did he tell you?
He told me about Justin's house and his stepdad. So he has a safe, he keeps it cracked open, and he has a gun and a lot of money.
How much money did you think was going to be there?
I also said a good couple thousand. So we were thinking, quick job, in and out, for about next month. And then we came up with a plan of taking out Justin, because in the way.
So he's the brains of the operation, it sounds like.
Pretty much, I was probably...
You're the muscle, but it never felt like you hit the bone or anything like that. It just...
It was in and out.
Really?
I had enough time. I stabbed him.
Whose idea was the septic enzymes? Austin Myers. We poured on the body in order to decompose of the body fasting.
The plan was choke him out, put a clean no blood.
Right.
I got him like right on the chin.
Okay.
So I started to freak out. I'm just like, shit, this isn't going as planned. I don't know what to do. It's too late to fucking take it back.
Right.
So, not knowing what else to do, I pulled out my knife because it was right in my pocket. I had my cargo shorts on, and I started stabbing him in the back.
When Myers noticed that his plans were not working, he confessed.
He says you're the one that pulled the trigger on the gun, and he's already dead. So all I want to know is, I want to know the truth. And he says you shot him, and are you very convincing? Did you shoot the gun, or did he?
I both did.
Huh?
In court, Myers addressed the jury before they left to deliberate.
I can only imagine the pain and loss felt by Mark and Sandy Cates, and by Jake and Back, Justin's brother. I have brothers and sisters myself. I can only imagine what it would be like to lose one of them. I'm sorry that this happened. I know that doesn't bring Justin back, but I'm sorry. I wish I could go back in time and stop this before it even happened. I can't. I hate for any family to go through such pain and suffering as this. To lose your son, I can't imagine. to lose your brother. If you choose for me to die, it's only going to cause more pain and suffering for another family, not me. It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's going to hurt more innocent people. If you kill me, it won't fix anything. It won't bring Justin back. It's only going to hurt more innocent people. I don't want to hurt people. I'm not asking you to spare my life so I can hurt anyone. I want to help people. Stop tragedies like this from happening. All I'm asking you for is a chance for me to become a better person.
Before Myers could be sentenced, Justin Back's mother told him how his actions affected her and the whole family.
Austin could have stopped it, but tells Justin it's okay. It's almost over. You could have changed your mind many times, but you didn't. Especially when Justin was begging for his life.
Justin's father